Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
How are you? How are you all at home? Good morning, everyone at home. So, as Amanda said, I'm Louisa, and I'm here to share with you this morning our children's focus. Now, the first thing I want you to think about, children, grandchildren, mums, dads, grandparents, aunts, uncles, guardians, carers, do you like to build? Have a moment to think about what you like to build. When my son was younger, I used to love building wooden train sets, and I'd spend hours with him building all these train sets on the floor, only to have to pick them up again a few days later. And I know that my children right now will probably be on their devices building in Minecraft. I certainly left my daughter, she was building a temple, and I know my son, he loves to build these mansions with swimming pools and tree houses. He spends loads and loads of time on Minecraft doing that. So this is something else that we've been building at home. Can you guess what it is? It's a temple. So I'm very much grateful for my daughter for building this temple. Now, the story that we're going to talk about today is a time when Jesus went into the temple. So, this was during Passover, a very special celebration. And in those days, the temples took about 46 years to build. So we're told, or this temple took 46 years to build. Without giving my age too much, that's just about how many years just over how many years I am, so it took that long to build. And so, we can see here, we've got a lovely temple. Now, the story that we're going to talk about is this temple, and in this temple, there was a young boy, and he's narrating this story. And he says, I remember that day really well. It was nearly Passover. The temples were crowded. So you can see here, look, we've got some crowded temples full of people here. There were men, because in those days the men would go to the temple and they would sell cattle. Can you see the cattle here? They would sell the cattle. There we go. And sheep. Who would have believed it? Susie Sheep herself, she would have been in the temple. Look, we've got two Susie Sheeps there. And doves, they were all in the temple as well. And some of the men were sitting at the table, and they were exchanging money. There we go, they're exchanging money. And this boy, when he's telling this story, he says to us, my goodness, the next thing we knew, Jesus was making a whip out of cords. Look at him, making this whip out of cords. And do you know what happened? He began to drive all these animals out of the temple. Can you imagine the chaos? All these animals. He undid the cages, and the doves came flying out. There were animals flying about all over the place in the temple. Do you know what he did? He even scattered all the coins everywhere. And he was so angry, and he was overturning the tables, and he was shouting, how? Get these cows out of here. Get these sheep out of here. Get this money out of here. He began shouting, how dare you turn my father's house into a marketplace? Goodness, he was really angry. And this child that saw this and was telling the story said, as I look back now, I remember that the ancient prophets had written Zeal for God's house will overwhelm me. And he said, we could see it with our own eyes. And the Jews demanded of him, what miraculous sign can you show us to prove your authority to do all this? So the Jews said to Jesus, how dare you do all this? Who gives you the authority to do that? And Jesus said to them, destroy this temple and I'll raise it up in 3 days. And they laughed, of course, because it had taken 46 years to build the temple. And they said, you're going to do that and you're going to raise the table in 3 days. But after the resurrection, the 3 days began to make sense. And when you come here on Easter Sunday and you want to hear more about why the 3 days make sense, then we will find out more. So, just wanted you to take a couple of minutes to think about what's special to you. What's special to you? Maybe you could say it out loud or say it to yourself. Is it a place in your room, a toy, a device? And how would you feel if your special things or your special places were destroyed? You'd feel very angry, wouldn't you? You wouldn't feel very happy. And what God wants is for us to treat ourselves as well like the special people we are. And he'd like you to treat yourself in that special way. So have a think about yourselves now. What's special to you as an individual? Maybe people say to you that you're very kind, you're very caring. Maybe you've got some special gifts. Maybe you're good at making friends. And think about those things that you want to hold on to. And especially over the next week and coming weeks, because there's some big changes ahead, aren't there? Some of you are going to be going back to school after a long time. Some of you have been at school, and it's going to be different because there's going to be more people coming back into your school, and that will feel different as well. So maybe have a think about when somebody's told you that you've been kind to someone else. That's a really special quality. And see if you can keep that to yourself and share that with other people as you go through the changes over the next few weeks. Thank you.